our studio in Newport Beach, California. Welcome to another edition of the Chab Dog Sports Talk Radio Show. Sometimes scattered, but always edgy. We're an authentic take on sports talk. Rated R. Chab Dog brings you Eric, the well-read, Frank, the tank, Brian from Sports Rock, and special guests. We're here to talk sports. We're here to rant and vent. We're here to take it up another notch. Now here's your host, Chab Dog.
All right, good morning, everybody, and welcome to another edition of Chab Dog Sports Talk. We're on each Sunday morning from 9 to 11 a.m. Pacific Time, brought to you by Chabner Law, serving Southern California's transactional business legal needs, and by Chab Dog Sports Blog for your head of your sports headlines and biting sports commentary. We've got a great show for you today. We'll be looking at 1980. This is the Weighty on 1980 show. Got sports, music, politics, and film from 1980. And we'll be talking some Canadian basketball later with the Bandits from the Canadian. Well, Eric, you can tell me the name of the league. I don't remember the name of the league.
Yeah, we're going to be speaking with Dylan, representing the Fraser Valley Bandits of the Canadian Elite Basketball League.
Hello.
Yeah.
Hey, Tank.
Oh, and now we can see him on the
TV.
TV.
Interesting.
How did that happen?
I don't know.
That's awesome.
Tank, can you hear us?
I can hear you.
Oh, good. Okay. We can't see
And,
you. We don't operate a camera, but
co-host
our co-host
Frank Fleming from Sports Encyclopedia and Barstool Sports.
Neat.
And we can actually see you, Frank, but you can't see me.
My dedication to the Toronto Blue Jays. Shuffle off the buffalo, shuffle off the buffalo.
Well, Tank, and Frank's referring to the Blue Jays yesterday. Canada, the Canadian government announced that they're not going to allow U.S. teams to travel into Canada to play games against the Blue Jays. So that shuts down, regardless of fans in the stand or not. They're not going to allow American teams to travel.
Another naked attempt to embarrass President Trump.
And they're not going to allow, back and forth and whatever. So
what is this crap?
But
are they doing so much better than we're doing with this coronavirus stuff?
Well, it's the same everywhere. In general, yes, but it's they have their flashpoints like spots.
Tank, what do you think about this?
Our president's going to be Ding Xiaoping, and I'm going to see Joe Biden bow before him. We're going to see Nancy Pelosi dancing with him, going ding, and their song's going to be Death to Capitalism.
God, this makes it even
and it's
better
so great.
to see him.
I get to live the life of luxury. Get to live like a
Tank's eating his shirt right now.
Nothing. Oh, the clothes on the back.
Eating it again.
And you're gonna see Nancy
wait,
Pelosi with the Hope Diamond on her.
Okay, can I interrupt the rant for a second?
Oh, you can't interrupt the rant.
You're gonna see Nancy Pelosi statues everywhere. With her 800-pound gavel.
Well, what does this mean? That we have to go to Buffalo to play them?
Well,
is that what you're saying?
But then they could go anywhere. They could go to Florida, couldn't they? I mean, they don't have to be in Buffalo.
Buffalo's probably the best choice.
But they have training facilities. They already used to. They have no connection to Buffalo in terms of facilities and staff.
Their team is in Buffalo.
Who is?
Their AAA team is in Buffalo.
Oh, I did not. The Bisons are in Buffalo? That's their AAA team?
It is, yes.
Oh, I didn't know that. Okay.
About last 7 years or so.
Okay. Yeah, I remember the Bisons back in the 80s.
So they're basically going to play your games there instead of Toronto this year.
Yeah, then they can travel, then they're not under restrictions.
Yeah, Buffalo's probably the best option because of its close proximity.
Right.
And it's a AAA affiliate.
Well, hey, if they want to do that.
Yeah, but proximity, here's the thing. Like, if they think they're going to be able to go back and forth across the border, because right now the border is shut down till August 25th, I believe, to anything but essential travel. Well, baseball players coming from their home in Toronto to drive across to Buffalo to play a game is not going to be essential travel.
that's not going to happen. But
so if it's not going to happen, and the fans aren't going to be able to drive over either, so it's back to
you may have your AAA in Buffalo. Florida's having their spike, so that's not a problem.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I guess somehow New York State has it under control, right?
Somewhat.
You do, because of your great governor.
No, it's the mayor. The mayor and the governor.
You're so lucky to have what a great man he
Cuomo?
is.
He's incredible.
Cuomo.
President Cuomo. That has a really good sound to it, you know?
Yeah.
Well, whatchamacallit, he had Sanjay Gupta saying that they should ban air conditioning. As it's 102 degrees today.
Well, that's a great idea. Yeah, how many more people
will
that
that's going to work real well for you.
You know how many people would die without air conditioning? Like, seriously.
Same amount that died from the flu.
Yeah, Sanjay Gupta said that the air conditioning is spreading the virus, and then they had AOC talking about that the air conditioning is another form of white privilege.
Black and Hispanics don't own air conditioners? What are you talking about? I see them with them all the time.
What did Big Guy
say? They had Stacey Abrams said that it's best just to use the hand and wipe and go back and forth as you click your hand.
Well, maybe a fan or something, like a hand fan, a palm front.
She says that air conditioning chokes off the air, and it's best when you have those beads of sweat going all down, up and down your back and your neck. That makes you feel so good.
Well, that's so 19th century. Well, do you have your air conditioner on right now, Tam?
Yes, but literally, they had like 3 days in a row articles in Sanjay Gupta. Air conditioning might spread the coronavirus. Air conditioning destroying the ozone. Air conditioning is a form of white privilege.
Oh. Tank, do you know I had my first altercation with a very, I call him a masked Nazi last night?
Masked Nazi?
I was walking my dog, and this old guy got on my face and said, "Where's your mask?" And it was like there was nobody around but me and my dog, and I'm like, you really want to get near my coronavirus face?
Oh, this wasn't the policeman, or was this?
No, this was just an old guy.
I completely understand the stores wanting to do the stores have the and I don't think the government should do it. I think the stores should have the option. No
right,
mask,
the stores should, but not when you're on the street with.
Remember, no shirt, no shoes, no service.
Yeah,
fine. I mean, nobody got upset. I mean, I shouldn't say that. People do get upset over even that. Believe me. Mm-hmm. But okay, same thing. If a store can say that, they can say no mask, no service. Fuck off, and then you just don't shop there. No big deal.
It's their prerogative.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And I'd prefer to shop in a store. Actually, I actually have no problem with masks. I don't mind. I mean, yeah, they're paid. Well, okay, my problem is.
I can't.
Let me tell you what my problem is. My problem is the truth, and this is the real. Because up until now, and I now remember for years what we were told about masks, is that because things like the flu virus and colds and such, those are aerosolized, and aerosolized means that the particles are so small and they just literally hang in the air. That a mask is not going to stop that. A mask will not filter that out, and it's fantasy to believe it does. Mm-hmm. And that's why for years, up until now, that was the guidance. That was what we were taught. That's what I remember decades being told. And laughing at the Asians and everyone else over there who wore masks because you don't need it. And now all of a sudden,
they're
based on no evidence,
panacea.
Yeah, they're changing it 180 and saying no, everyone should wear masks.
So you have these idiots that are driving around in their cars with their masks on. Yeah. I'm like, oh, what's going on here? What are you afraid of?
Yeah, one person in a car.
You wear that when you go to the bathroom and when you have sex? I don't know.
I don't think they have sex, Joe. So that's my problem with masks. Now, that being said, it's not. There are bigger issues to fight right now. That's not an area where that's not the hill I want to die on, fighting social issues. I'd rather deal with what's going on in Portland and other cities and the violence.
Portland, what a
we'll
great
get to that
place.
in a moment. Tank, I want to you brought up AOC, and there's another thing she said this week about what was motivating people to break in, and this increase in crime.
Oh yeah, they want bread.
Yeah, there's lots of bread on.
Is that
how many bread shops are on Fifth Avenue, Tank?
Is that like a reverse Marie Antoinette? Let them eat bread.
Well, I noticed that she's right because people were breaking into shoe stores to hide the bread they're stealing.
To get shoes.
They were stealing.
No, they were taking the shoes out and they were putting the bread shoe boxes.
They were what?
They were breaking into the stores to get the shoe boxes.
Shoe boxes and throwing the shoes away?
Yeah, they wanted a place to put their bread.
It's a good thing for a loaf of bread, actually. I never thought about that. Let's Google that. Is there a shortage on shoe boxes?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that's insane.
Okay.
Yeah, so she was mouthing off this week about silly motivations, and the mayor was continuing to lie. He's just a bald-faced liar. De Blasio is.
We had the Black Lives Matter sign painted outside Donald Trump's office.
Oh yeah.
They now have cops guarding it.
Mm-hmm.
It's
Guarding
been
the
vandalized
BLM?
3 times, repainted 3 times.
Yep.
Meanwhile, actual black babies are getting murdered in another borough. The mayor's not said one fucking word about it.
Nope. No, the homicide rate has year over year has increased significantly in New York City.
It's gone up 280%.
That's pretty significant.
Nice.
And yet, not a word is being. No one's criticizing.
In the last 6 weeks, it's gone up 280%.
Boy, it's almost as good as the stock market.
Yeah, can I get an index on that? The New York murder rate.
We should have a new page for the New York City crime index.
We could index that. Yeah.
Yeah, you should index it. Show it on it. Compare it with the S&P 500.
Yeah, we can get Goldman Sachs to back up to do the countersign, the counter investment on it. That'd be great. Maybe we can get the new owner of the Mets, Steve Cohen. Hey, you know what's well? He's not the owner yet. They still have to. He's a competing bid against A-Rod because A-Rod's back in the game, right? So and there's a calls for A-Rod to drop out. Are you for the A-Rod bid or against the A-Rod bid?
Well, if you want the salary cap, I want him to get the fuck out.
Okay. Well, he hasn't revealed his position
but
yet.
whatchamacallit says that the Daily News and a guy on the radio, Chris Carlin.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, Steve Cohen's got a bad person, and he's an idiot team.
Really? And everyone can understand that?
That's how he talks. That's how
Sounds
his
a little
voice
like,
has got like that.
It sounds a little like Chris Collinsworth.
He's got like that talk that yeah, exactly.
That's better than Chris Collinsworth.
And he says instead of saying cash, he says kish.
Oh yeah.
He goes, "We need to become a society where we don't have cash anymore."
Oh, that's bullshit. What's happening all the time?
And he talked about what we should do is this is a perfect opportunity to say something, and the Mets should give the team to minority interest, even if that means you lose for the next 20 years. I broadcast Rutgers football, and I tell you, losing actually helps build character.
That's Mickey Callaway.
The problem in this country is we expect to win. That's why we got stuck with Donald Trump. We should be one of those countries that love losing, and we share every last thing.
Is that Mickey Callaway?
And then he was talking about, he goes, if tomorrow they walked into the studio and told him that they're giving his job to Jamel Hill,
nice.
Because, and he says, and I know by my white privilege that I get on the air like this, and it's sad. It's sad.
Yeah, it is white privilege, though. Yeah, he should be replaced by Jamel Hill's gerbil.
Jamil Hill will with Nick Cannon said that. Nick Cannon is a land speaking truth to power. She actually said that. Nick Cannon speaking truth to power.
Is he related to Frank Cannon?
Nope.
So there was more controversy. Bring up Cannon. There was more controversy. You think
I do want to mention.
Just leave well enough alone. And quit banging on the anti-Semitism.
I want to talk about something.
People are protesting for him to get his job back on, Viacom, and he's keeping his job on the Max Singer.
Yeah, the Masked Singer. How can he? What? He's keeping his job. He's got to be fired from the Masked Singer.
No, he wasn't fired.
What?
Yep. Truth to power. 60% said that he said he was speaking truth to power.
What? Saying that the black Jews are the real children of Israel? That's
and that
speaking
white
truth
people
to
are
power.
subhuman. Yeah.
And white people said, "Yeah, that's the message I heard." So that's truth to power. That's
truth to power.
All right.
Nick Cannon's job matters.
I'm gonna yield the.
We got, and they said there's white privilege.
Well,
you know what that is?
That's white privilege. White privilege saying, "Huh."
What didn't help this recently was, that John Lewis died, and
yes,
in his infinite wisdom, Marco Rubio tried to pay tribute to that by put up a picture of Elijah
that
Cummings.
wasn't Marco Rubio that put that tweet
no,
out.
it was one of Rubio's.
That was some idiot staffer.
Yeah, that was
okay. Well, somebody put up a picture of Cummings, not Lewis. They obviously mixed the two guys up.
Well, they look kind of similar.
I know. That's the thing. It's like,
I'm not saying they all look the same.
It's kind of. But when two people kind of look alike, they kind of look alike. Because I remember when Cummings died, I got mixed up, and I was like, "Is that John Lewis?"
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Because I wasn't sure when I
Cummings
saw.
is slightly taller. That's the only way I could tell the difference from
So,
afar.
I thought that was pretty funny. Now Rubio's like hiding.
Well, what can you do? He's not.
He has to blame somebody. Though
It was an honest mistake.
Yeah.
Big deal.
Yeah, that
it's funny though. I'm sorry, but it was kind of funny.
Yeah. Well, mistakes happen.
Yeah.
Like last night, Frank, there was a baseball game last night. First baseball game in forever. And the Yankees played the Mets.
Oh.
Yep, the new Mets third baseman, Max Moroff. 2 errors on every inning. Max Moroff made 4 throws. All of them almost got Alonso killed.
Whoa. So how many? I didn't actually see that part of the board. How many errors were there in the game?
4.
All Mets?
Yep.
Did they play a full 9 innings?
Yep.
Okay, so
we found a new player to torture Frank. Max the moron Moroff.
And he's made the team.
Oh, there's no chance. Yeah.
Guess what Max Moroff's career batting average in the minor leagues is?
230.
0.006.
180.
180.
Oh my
wow.
God, he's below.
And he's got a 720 fielding percentage.
He's below the Mendoza line, isn't he?
I was going to say he must be an incredible fielder, but not at 720.
He's below the Mendoza line.
Well below the Mendoza line.
Oh my God.
So when the Mets get sold to the minority interest, he's going to be the third baseman. And he's going to make 311 errors.
Is he a Jewish guy?
In a 162 game season.
Max Moroff. That sounds kind of Jewish.
No, they.
You think so? Is he black, Tank, or is he white?
He's white, and he's terrible.
Okay,
Terrible!
He might be Jewish.
I'm going to be racist here and say Jewish players are better than that.
Well, they tend to be, but there's certainly probably
make a generalization. Jewish players are pretty damn good, actually.
They might not make my all
Jewish
team.
not a Jew, and he sucks too.
Well, but I'm saying, but the goy, the non-Jewish white players are some are good.
Well, the Mets had a Jewish player a couple years ago that was absolutely awful.
Mm-hmm. What was his name? Because I usually know.
And he doesn't have a Jewish name. Oh. But he must have a Jewish mother, I guess.
Why? What was his name?
Ty Kelly.
Ty Kelly?
Yes.
That's Irish or something.
Yeah, I thought so, but he's currently he's now moved on from Major League Baseball, and he's playing for Team Israel.
Oh.
Sweet.
Well, and he wasn't that good.
He was terrible. He actually looked like he was afraid of the baseball when he was at the plate.
Well, he's good enough to play for Israel.
What
was the final score last night, Tank?
9-3. The Yankees scored 5 runs in the 9th inning too.
Oh, so
it was a close game.
Oh,
and then the Yankees scored 5 runs in the 9th.
That explains why you're not in a great mood because of the Mets.
Yeah, but then if it was close up until the 9th, I didn't realize that. So it wasn't. Was it domination?
No,
it doesn't sound like it.
The Yankees took a 3-0 lead early. Mets got it to 3-2.
Okay.
Max Moroff made 2 errors that caused a run to score.
Yeah.
And then Max Moroff had another error. And then he had another error. And then they brought in, after Edluz Diaz had a terrible inning, they brought in Daniel Zamora, who faced 4 batters and gave up 4 hits. And all 4 runs scored.
And did DeGrom start?
No.
Okay. Do you remember who the starter was?
Yeah, whatchamacallit, the guy that used to be on the Red Sox, Porcello.
Oh, Porcello. Okay, and who's the Yankee starter?
Some guy named King I've never heard of.
Oh, okay.
Did Porcello look good?
Up and down.
Takes
He
him
gave
a while
up
to
a
get
2-run
going.
homer to Clint Frazier.
Yeah. He's not good in the beginning of the games. Like if his ball's not moving, he's in big trouble.
He gave up the first 2 batters got hits.
Yeah, sounds like he started out badly.
Then he gave up the 2-run homer to Frazier in the 4th.
See? I know this guy. I lived and died with him as a Red Sox pitcher. So maybe it'll work his problems out. I don't know.
Well, it's also first game of the year too against another opposition. I mean, this is like spring training here.
The Mets have a lot of excuses for not looking good last night, but John Belushi can tell you more of them. Why don't you play that?
Yeah,
we've got a good clip for you here.
So this is from our 1980 collection, since this is the 1980 show, and one of the 10th highest grossing film of 1980 was The Blues Brothers, and here it is. And here's a great scene from it.
You know I love you, baby. I wouldn't leave you. It wasn't my fault.
You miserable slug. You think you can talk your way out of this? You betrayed me.
Well, she looked good.
No, I didn't. Honest. I ran out of gas. I had a flat tire. I didn't have enough money for cab fare. My tux didn't come back from the cleaners. An old friend came in from out of town. Someone stole my car. There was an earthquake. A terrible flood. Locust. It was
all the excuses that Mark has for never calling the show.
Yeah. He's going to call this week.
Oh, right. Yeah, sure.
Yeah, that's got to be the best.
Yeah.
Oh, was the game in which stadium was the game in last night, Tank?
City Field.
Okay. So you're I don't know if you know this, Chav Dog, but Tank is there at every game at Citi Field. Is that which seat do you have there?
I'm not sure. It's the second row seat, though, and that's in that home plate first base area, I believe.
Okay, because I was looking at, I could sort of look. I thought, this isn't your normal seat, is it?
No.
Okay.
But he's not at every game, is he?
Yeah, Tank gets to go to every game.
Every game now?
They have the cardboard cutouts.
Oh, the cutouts.
Yeah.
Oh, what am I? I'm like, I'm sorry.
I know Chav Dog's spazzing here.
I'm just too tired. I guess I didn't have enough coffee. Yeah, obviously you're not going to the games.
Now, I got to admit, looking at, it's really cool to see their Tank.
They have a card. They have a carve out of him.
Yeah, there's him and there's Stu and there's.
Well, can we get a picture of this?
Well, yeah, I'll show you the picture.
Yeah, we got to post a picture.
Yeah, I'll get it to you. It's on.
Wow,
Twitter.
that's quite an honor. Thank you, Tank.
Honor? Did you have to pay for that?
No, it came with my Saturday plan.
Okay.
It's renewing my Saturday plan for next year.
It's great publicity for you, man.
Otherwise, I think I heard a price tag of $240.
And wait.
No, actually, it's 86.
Oh.
And the bigger he is, the more big the cardboard is. So you have every incentive to gain weight now.
Well, I'm not sure. I don't think they gave him much more cardboard space than they gave the next person.
Yeah, but
they rigged the camera.
I want to see that cutout. Okay. That's great.
You know, it is really cool to watch people in cutouts in the stands, but then when you see the actual game being played in front of it, I don't know, Tank. When there's no action, like isn't it kind of creepy? Doesn't it creep you out a little bit to see the game?
Nah.
Get used to it.
Okay. The only thing is, Tank, what are you going to do if they spray paint a big BLM on your cardboard?
Yeah, Tank, it's white privilege.
I just gave somebody an idea.
Yeah, a bunch of white people watching baseball. That's white privilege. We got to BLM it.
Well, Jamel Hill says that white people shouldn't be allowed to go to games anymore. Today, the only thing they should do is work in the fields, pick the cotton.
Wait, what's he eating? What
was that you're eating there, Tank?
That's a back scratcher.
Oh, okay.
That looked like a sugar daddy or something.
No, I thought it was more like a chew. Well, yeah, a chew toy sugar daddy.
I thought it was a huge sugar daddy.
Yeah, well, Tank
but
size.
Yeah, the Jamel Hill, who's considered to be the conscience of America.
This is really cool. Can I ask you about what's on the wall there? You have a nice office there. A lot of pictures, huh?
Yeah, just memorabilia.
Oh.
You mean you never watched any of my videos that I put on YouTube?
I do, but I usually watch you, and I don't focus on the environment. Like I can really see it here.
Yeah, he does the house tour. That's kind of hard to.
Well, I haven't seen everything. I really haven't, so I must say I missed a few things.
Tank's got more memorabilia in boxes than he has hanging on the walls, too. He's a real collector.
So he's got a lot of... that's worth a lot there. That's great.
Tank, have you ever valued it?
Didn't value it.
Yeah. I mean, but you're right. There's a lot of sentimental, and then there's some literal value.
I have every Mets yearbook in the closet.
Oh, are they going to make one for 2020?
I don't know.
Still no, huh? Okay.
Well, we were talking about 1980. Do you remember the World Series at all?
Vaguely.
It's pretty. You were pretty young. That was the year Pete Rose joined the Phillies, and the Phillies went all the way. And
I don't remember much about 1980. Things I remember that stick out about 1980 is the election, the Olympic boycott, Mount St. Helens.
Oh, geez. Of course. I forgot about that, too.
What else? Those are things that stick out in my memories of 1980.
What about the Miracle on Ice?
Yeah, a little bit of that. I don't really remember that well.
Well, you saw it.
I was 4.
Yeah.
That's a lot to remember, though. I mean, just you remember those points.
The Islanders playing the Flyers in the 1980. That's the first one.
I remember them a little bit later than that. I remember the 81 World Series.
That was the Card. That was the Yankees-Dodgers.
Yankees-Dodgers, yes.
Yeah, that was a great World Series because there were 3 MVPs in that series.
Yeah, my father calling Ron Davis a 4-eyed fuck.
Oh, Ron Kittle?
No, Ron Davis.
Oh, Ron Davis. Not Ron Kittle, Ron Davis. There were 2 Rons with glasses. Yeah,
Ron Davis.
He was the Yankees relief pitcher that blew it.
Now, I don't know if he's Jewish or he just married a Jewish woman.
Davis could be Jewish, actually. Yes, it could be.
Because his son played for the Mets.
Oh.
I actually have his bobblehead. I'm actually looking at it on a shelf across from me.
Jewish Davis is Lanny Davis and Seth Davis.
Well, Sammy Davis Jr.
Lanny Davis, though.
Lanny Davis?
Yeah.
And when I remember them talking about Ike Davis had grandparents that were in the Holocaust, killed in the Holocaust, and so Ike Davis actually played it up, and he was good briefly. He had one good year. He hit 30 home runs one year, and then he fell into the dugout, jammed his ankle, and instead of it, he was day to day, and he ended up missing 4 months. Then the next spring training, he came back. He had Spring Valley fever, and he was never the same.
Spring Valley fever. Wow, that's pretty heavy duty.
And he was good. He was really good. He came up. He was good. He was like a power hitting first baseman. And
Ike Davis.
Huh.
I don't remember him.
Okay.
This wasn't too long ago. This is. Let me see his stats with the Mets.
The short, sweet life of Ike Davis.
I mean, he came up. He was. He came up in 2010 for the Mets.
Oh.
He was actually a top prospect for the Mets. Mets drafted him first or second round. I mean, he had 32 home runs in 2012. Mets gave out a bobblehead for him. Then all of a sudden, he got Spring Valley fever. The next year, he batted .205 and had 9 home runs.
We're still better than your third baseman.
I mean, he batted .302 in 2011. That's the year he actually broke his ankle. Or they thought it was just a sprain, and then it turned out to be broken. And he, with day to day, he ended up being 4 months. He was batting .302 with 7 home runs and 25 RBI in 36 games, which is pretty good.
Yeah, 302. That's very good.
And then the next year, he hit 32 home runs, batted .227, which is not so good, but you take the 32 home runs and then fell off the fucking cliff. He batted .205. 9 home runs, and then the Mets were going to trade him in 2004. He was on the roster, and they were trying to trade him, he wasn't playing, and he came up as a pinch hitter in the ninth inning. He hit a grand slam home run. That was his last at bat. And I actually was at that game. He hit a walk-off grand slam against the Reds. And then he was traded to, the Mets actually traded him to the Pirates.
Oh, great. Thank you. Thank you for
giving
giving
us. Who did the Mets
us
get
him.
for him? I don't even remember who the Mets got for him.
Typical
They
Pirate
got
hater.
no one for him. They got Zach Thornton and Brian Taylor, or Blake Taylor, who both were minor leaguers.
I really don't like those guys that can hit grand slams and do kind of heroic things once in a while, but usually just flame out because they always are sparking my hope that.
Yeah, but after he got the Valley Fever, his he just completely no more power, no more hitting. Ugh.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, sounds like a pirate batter.
I mean, I heard he was actually going to try to make a comeback as a pitcher. Last I heard.
So we are talking to the sports encyclopedia guru here, the guy that's the storehouse of sports knowledge. And every once in a while, Tank, I like to give you a trivia question just to test your acumen. So can I ask you one right now? I think you'll like.
Yeah, go ahead.
Name me, and you can either name the first guy or the second guy, but the top two guys in baseball history in terms of postseason home runs and how many they hit.
Well, I don't know if I can name how many they hit.
But can you name the one of the two or the two?
I know one is Manny Ramirez.
Very good. Yes, he's on top. He has 29. 29 postseason home runs. And then the next guy is pretty far behind. The next guy is almost 30% less, 25% less.
Is it Bernie Williams by any chance?
Bingo. You got it. Bernie Williams. Yeah. I had no idea he hit that many home runs.
Bernie Williams had a habit of hitting those, and he hit a walk-off in 1996 ALCS, but he had a habit of just hitting just home runs.
A habit in the playoffs.
Yeah. And, of course, because the Yankees are playing in there every year, he had the opportunity to hit so many of them.
Right. A lot of postseason games. I was looking at his numbers. He's got good numbers. I mean, maybe they're not Hall of Fame numbers, but when you look at the whole body of work, it's pretty good work.
If Harold fucking Baines is in the Hall of Fame, he should be in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah. Right. I think if you look at all the accomplishments, all the All-Star games, the World Series titles, batting.
Yeah, Harold Baines who played in, 2 All-Star games in 23 years?
Yeah, that tells you something about what people thought of him. He just didn't stand out.
Harold Baines. It pays to have friends in high places, I guess.
Yeah. Lobbyists. Like LaRusso.
Tony, no.
We get our caller in? All right, yeah. We're going to welcome in Dylan from the Bandits is the team, right? The basketball Bandits in Canada. How are you, Dylan?
I'm doing very well. Can you hear me clearly?
Yeah.
Awesome.
We got another guest on, Frank Fleming from Sports Encyclopedia. Can you hear us? I don't know if he can hear us.
I can hear him.
Okay, good. Good job, and I want to thank Eric for the technology is not always that simple, and it sounds. I really couldn't do this without you because I think that was good. So, welcome to the show, Dylan. It's great to have you on, and let's give it.
Now I can't hear anything.
Did we lose him?
Oh, I'm here. I just haven't. I didn't know if you guys were done talking or not yet.
Oh yeah, we're done.
Hello?
Hello?
Are we good?
Seems like we are. But he can hear us. That's the thing. Okay.
Dylan. There we go. Dylan.
Yep, I'm
here. Yeah, okay, my mic wasn't on. So, Dylan, what's your title with the team?
Vice president.
Okay, so we're speaking with, it's Kular? Your surname is Kular?
Yep, Kular. Perfect.
Kular.
Thank you.
Yeah. Dylan, we're speaking with Dylan Kular, the vice president of the Fraser Valley Bandits, or the Bandits, part of the Canadian Elite Basketball League.
Mm-hmm. And where is what city is it?
It's in suburbs of Vancouver.
So that's Vancouver. Okay. So you have the good fortune of living in Vancouver. It's a very nice city. I've never been there, but I heard it's beautiful.
Yeah, about 45 minutes east of Vancouver. It's down, I guess, Highway 1, and yeah, we're not fortunate to have the highway system down in California, but sometimes it's a bit of an issue, but most of the time not. So yeah, we named ourselves the Fraser Valley Bandits, even though we play in Abbotsford. So Abbotsford is a suburb of Vancouver, 45 minutes east. And it was important for us to try to unite a lot of the communities in the Fraser Valley. Fraser Valley is a region. Mm-hmm. Then you have 3 or 4 major cities, major to British Columbia, that make up the Fraser Valley.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And how many teams are in your league?
So the Canadian Elite Basketball League, essentially it's been a 4-year process. Our ownership group and our executive committee, they were united 4 years ago, and they essentially saw a gap for Canadian professional players to play domestically. Of course, you have Canadians playing all over the world. Like we're second in terms of producing players for the NBA. And then, of course, we probably have hundreds of players playing overseas and in the Americas. So our group thought, well, why don't we have a league to call our own that allows these players to come back now in their off season, which would be, say, the spring and summer months, where they're able to play in front of their family, friends, communities, and also at the same time just create a new entertainment experience for people in Canada when there's not, like, also we have the Canadian Football League that plays in the summer.
Mm-hmm. Sure.
But I would say a league that doesn't really cater much to the up and coming generations. I believe they're going through a restructuring of themselves, but in the summer, aside from baseball and MLS and the CFL, there's not much to offer. And obviously with the NBA finishing up around June, we saw a great opportunity to provide a new experience for people in Canada, and at the same time also bring back some of these very talented players who play for the Canadian national team or potentially the NBA G League. Mm-hmm. Even this year, we have for our summer series, which we'll get into a little later, we have players who've played in the NBA 40-plus games. So 4 years ago, our ownership group saw that opportunity and created the Canadian League Basketball League. And actually, just last year, we had our inaugural season with 6 teams. So the Fraser Valley Bandits representing British Columbia, the Edmonton Stingers representing Alberta, the Saskatchewan Rattlers playing at Saskatoon. Then we have Guelph, Hamilton, and Niagara. That's in the Ontario province. And then this year we added Ottawa. So the capital for Canada have been added to the league. So 4 teams out of Ontario, and now we're all here in Ontario for essentially our own version of the bubble.
How come Halifax never gets any respect?
Honestly, the Maritimes. They're not too far away. I won't disclose which cities have a lot of interest, but
that's good.
A lot of major cities across Canada have shown interest for our league. There have been a lot of attempts at Canadian professional leagues before, yes. But honestly, our approach, the timing, and especially the timing of it, with the Raptors winning last year, and the growth of the NBA globally over the last 10 plus years, the opportunity to do something has never been better. Hopefully it is the best time, and hopefully it doesn't have to be 10 or 20 years down the road, but in the last 40, 50 years, this has been the best time. So we're excited to have this opportunity. And plus our model, we're built very similar to how the MLS was founded, how the WNBA was founded, where you have one ownership group amongst all the teams. And it just allows for stronger brand power and obviously sharing of knowledge, whether it's basketball practices or business practices, just to start off the league prior to eventually selling off franchises to local ownership groups or bringing in new franchises that have their own separate ownership groups, which could potentially happen next season and onwards. But for now, actually, the Canadian League Basketball League is owned by one group, and that really allows us to move at a pretty good pace because we're all on the same page. We're all communicating daily, and if I have issues potentially on the business side with an area, or I want to learn from another team, it's a quick call, and everyone's willing to share information. I think that's been very powerful for the CEBL and why we've been able to make it into year 2 with so much traction. And now even able to pull off essentially our own type of bubble here in Ontario for the summer series.
Okay, well, I want to talk about the summer series, but I want to back up to your business model. That's quite an extraordinary business model. So you have, right now, no franchises, one ownership group that owns all the teams.
The teams are like a division of a corporation.
Yes.
It's like one corporation and a bunch of divisions.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Wow, and as long as, obviously the corporation's very well heeled, it has the money to make the investment.
I've got a suggestion for another division, another team.
Oh.
You could start one in Nova Scotia and call them the Locks.
The Locks.
The Locks?
Like Nova Scotia Locks. It's a dumb joke, but
you mean like smoked salmon?
Yeah, like locks on a bagel. Sometimes it's called Nova Scotia because
that's the joke.
A lot of times it comes from Nova Scotia.
Hey, Chab.
No, have you
Half drunk
really
human.
really
There's no way
good
to
locks?
look like so.
Nova Locks.
Nova Locks. Okay.
I don't know. I'm Jewish, so I'm all into locks.
Well, yeah, cream cheese and bagel.
Your guess is probably totally bewildered by that comment, but the other thing that occurred to me was that Vancouver had a basketball team in the NBA, right? You had the Vancouver Grizzlies, right?
That is correct.
And so you got a following in Vancouver from that, and maybe you could use some of the ex-Grizzly players to promote the league, like Bryant Big Country. I wonder what he's doing.
Big Country.
You remember him,
I
Bryant?
was going to say, they've all long been forgotten, but no, you can't forget Big Country.
Yeah, people must have liked him.
You remember
up
Big
there.
Country, Dylan?
Yeah, obviously it's been 21 years since the Vancouver Grizzlies left our market,
21.
and actually Kat Williams, she's a local Vancouver Grizzlies fanatic. She actually got some local funding from TELUS, it's a Canadian telecommunications company,
Yes.
to produce a documentary on. It's called Finding Big Country, actually, and I think it's actually been picked up by ESPN. I think they're actually airing it right now on maybe ESPN Plus. And she did a little background story on the misunderstanding of Big Country Reese, because obviously he was loved when he was drafted, and then once he started playing his first couple of games, that love started going away and really became hatred amongst the fans.
Wow.
And she
So he was
went to
not
go find
popular.
him down south, and she found him, and he's part of the documentary as well.
Well, I never hated the guy. I thought
He was a great player, Bryant Big Country Reeves.
Yeah.
You remember him, Tank?
Yeah, he was good. I remember that he was like the first draft pick too for the Grizzlies.
Yeah, he was good
He was
in
the
college.
face of the franchise,
Oklahoma
and the
State.
problem was he was a stiff. He was one of those type of players that could be good in college, but was too slow to play in the NBA.
Really? Yeah.
He was like one of those slow moving white guys that just didn't have the ability to like compete night by night against the top players in the world.
Well, we had Big Country, and then we had Steve Francis, who did his debacle, refusing to come play in Vancouver, and then we were fortunate to have Sharif Abdul-Rahim.
I work at the Essex County Courthouse in New Jersey.
Yeah.
And about earlier this year, was it this year or was it last year? Maybe it was late last year, and he was actually a prospective juror. He's now working as like the commissioner of the G League.
Yeah.
And I saw him as a prospective juror, and literally he was like every other juror came up to like his chest. That's how much taller he was than everyone in the jury pool.
Wow.
Yeah, it was interesting times. Like the Vancouver Grizzlies came probably a little bit too early. Obviously, the Toronto Raptors got there a little earlier, and of course, both are battling for.
Well, they both got in the same year. They both broke them in 1995. What might have been better off is to wait another 10 years for the Grizzlies.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, the Vancouver Grizzlies just left too early. Obviously, the NBA wasn't really there yet globally, and the growth.
Well, it was there. One thing that hurt, one thing that really hurt the Grizzlies was the 98 lockout, 99 lockout. And then 2 years later, they were gone. What was it, 2002, I think was the first year in Memphis?
Yeah, it's been 19, 20 years. So
2001, 2002.
Yeah, I mean, they didn't even last 10 years, the Vancouver Grizzlies.
But I want to move forward to the season. And you mentioned, excuse me, because Dylan, your first game is coming up on July 25th, the Bandits, which is coming up very fast. And I was wondering how this was going to work. I asked my daughter Coco about the team, and she said, well, there'll be no fans there. But I didn't realize it's not even in the Fraser Valley. Where are you in Ontario right now? Yeah,
so we all got sent out to St. Catharines, Niagara. So about 30-minute drive from Niagara Falls, and about an hour and a half to Toronto.
Yeah, but you're right by Buffalo.
So they're all playing there.
Right by Buffalo. Yeah. So we're all here now. Ottawa is actually still in Ottawa. They're doing their training camp there, and then they'll be joining us, I believe, in 3 days. But yeah, we all arrived last Monday. We went through testing, got all of our results back, and now 2 days ago, we were able to step on the court once we received all the negative tests. So we have all 7 teams that will be convening here. And the summer series does tip off on July 25th. We tip off on July 26th versus Edmonton at 1 p.m. PST. And we'll play everyone once, so in a round-robin series. And then the 7th place team after the round-robin series will be eliminated. And we'll go into a knockout bracket. 1 and 2 get a bye first round. 3 versus 6 will play each other, and then we'll have semifinals and finals.
Oh, so you're going right into your playoffs then?
Yeah.
After a round robin, that's wow. Now, where's your campus? What are you using as a Disneyland or Disney World here?
Not so much Disney World, but we are in St. Catharines, where we have essentially created 3 safe zones. So we have one safe zone is our accommodation, and then our second safe zone is our practice facility, and our third is the actual game venue, the Meridian Center in Niagara.
The Meridian Center.
So, the Ontario health authorities and the chief medical officers for Ontario and St. Catharines essentially deemed it safe to have our safe zones, and as long as people in competition have been tested negative, then we have a great chance of proceeding to play. So obviously our health protocols up here are obviously maintaining your social distancing, wearing your masks. We actually are allowed to, in Ontario now, they've just opened up indoor eating, but across the country that did happen a lot sooner. And the situation is also a little different up here in Canada in terms of COVID and also responsiveness.
Yes.
We're fortunate that the rules are a little easier for us than what you may be seeing in the United States right now.
But they make some common sense here. And where's your accommodation?
So we're at a hotel. That's I can't give the actual location. But,
okay, yeah.
Hotel right beside our practice facility. And then
that's fine.
The transportation's been very, very, very easy, and then we'll be shuttled to the games. And then obviously the health protocols have all been developed by the chief medical officers for Ontario and St. Catharines. We obviously had no say in that. It was essentially whatever rules they put in place. If we weren't able to adhere to them, we wouldn't be able to pull this off.
So you're trying to avoid the Antifa protesters too, huh?
Yeah.
But I want to go back to common sense here, because what this, and this could be perfectly fine in the United States as well. If you got a group of people that are in one spot, like a family and a household, and then they pick up as that family and go to another building, they hop in a car and go to another building, so they haven't been in front of anybody. And in that building, they meet other families that have also isolated, and they play basketball together without masks. How is there going to be any spread there? Yeah, I mean, this makes logical sense, right, Dylan?
As long as the testing works.
Yeah. Well, but then you're testing, daily?
Yeah, so we did the first test. The once you're in the bubble, then we're looking at doing another test prior to the first game.
Okay. So frequent
and
tests.
then we'll be good to go. Yeah. So the health protocols by the chief medical officers didn't require us to test daily. Of course, daily screening. So that was in the moment someone has symptoms, they'll get isolated and then be tested, and then from there, depending on what the result is from that, the health authorities will then either do further testing if it's required, or then they'll be released if it was a false symptom.
That's a good model.
Yeah, we could really follow that and
We could use a
learn
model
from
like
that.
down here. Yeah, the colleges could use a model like that here.
As long as you make sure that the players don't get any ability to take day trips to Niagara Falls, that could be a little dangerous.
Or to the casino? To the ladies of the night, the walk
do
Clifton
you
Hill?
know about there was a famous
I haven't been yet.
There was
I
a
haven't been,
famous
but
baseball
I heard
player.
it's Vegas of Canada.
Was that?
You'll be disappointed if you think it's anything like that.
That's what I've been told. So the locals
Vegas.
are calling it that. That's an analogy that's being thrown around here right now.
That's. I'm sure they're joking.
Yeah.
Well, what you want to play any of our clips for our Canadian stuff for our guest? Maybe
well,
you'd
I
like
actually
this.
was thinking that I want to play a basketball clip.
Oh,
yeah, Dr. J's iconic baseline.
We're
scoop.
covering 1980, and I think the most famous shot of 1980 was this shot.
It's the most famous shot.
The all-time greatest move I've seen. Magic and I were sitting there, and we were sitting right on the baseline. And when Dr. J left his feet, he didn't know what he was going to do. When we cut him off baseline, he started walking in air. Got the ball in one hand.
Walking in there.
Floating.
And we said,
Under
wait
the
a minute. He's got to come down. There's no way
Out of
he
bounds.
can stay in the air.
He's going to be out of bounds.
And he was just in the air. It's 89-84. Sixers, and they get inside.
Brent Musburger.
Unbelievable. Julius Erving.
Ray Jones with the ball. By Julius Erving. Drives to the basket. Goes up and...
And for those of you who can't see, Dr. J he came in on the right side of the basket, curved, floated under the basket, literally floated on
went
the air.
underneath the basket.
And as his body started to fall in the arc, reaches up his 1,000-foot-long arm
And banks it in.
and banks it in off the board. Do you remember that? Have you ever seen the film of that, Dylan?
I have seen the clip. Yeah, I think I've seen that exact clip you guys just played.
And Tank, you're familiar with that.
Yes.
We say the shot of the decade, shot of the century.
It was.
It was
stylish.
good. Probably shot of the year.
Yeah. It wasn't. It
Wow,
wasn't a
I'm
long
still
range.
blown
The
away by
interesting
it.
thing, it wasn't a long range shot, but
No, but the finesse.
it was like
skill.
the other shot that was like that was when Michael Jordan went up and switched his hand. You remember that? He had the ball in
Yep.
his right hand and he switched it to his left hand and
Mm-hmm.
laid it in, or maybe it was the other way around. But I'd never seen anybody even think of doing that. And so that was we played that clip for you. We also got the you want to play on the McKenzie brothers?
If Dylan can stand to hear it one more time for our American audience. But Dylan, you know the Mackenzie song. Where is it here? If I can find it in the rotation.
I'm Googling it while we're talking with
Here
these
we go.
guys.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I remember these guys.
Your Tank, remember this one, Tank?
Yes, I do.
Oh, beauty, go.
I actually remember the movie. Remember the movie?
Yeah, Strange
Good
Brew.
day, welcome to our
Strange
signal.
Brew,
I'm Bob
yeah.
McKenzie, and this is my brother Doug. How's it going, eh?
Beauty, eh?
Yeah, I like that.
Okay.
Dylan hasn't said
Okay,
it.
everyone, this record was my idea.
Get out.
It was. You're lying. Hosehead here just sort of rid on my coat.
Take off.
Why are you doing this? It was our idea together, eh?
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, okay.
We agreed to say that, but
Take off.
That's Geddy Lee, right? Yeah.
Geddy Lee of Rush.
I love this. I love the Rush stuff. Perfect.
Decent singing, eh?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's good. Okay, so good day. Our topic today is music.
that's right. Like, because my brother and I are now experts in the field,
Yeah,
eh?
right, because we're a band now. And,
Well,
so,
except for him. I'm a band.
oh, how can you do that? Making me look bad. You're such a hose hand.
Yeah, well, take off.
Hosehead. Yeah, what? Yeah, listen to this when it's coming. You know what it is? What? It's a drum solo.
Okay, everyone, like, this is me on the drums.
Oh, get out. It is not.
It is so.
Stop.
I learned. Will you? Take off, eh?
That's good. I know some of those. I know what my favorite Rush song is.
It's a beauty way to go. Take off.
Beauty, eh?
Like magic, eh? It's coming in.
Well, that's
It's like it was sung by angels.
Hey, Hosehead.
Yeah, what?
Guess what? What? It's over.
Take off. That can't be.
It is, yeah. It is. Because, hit records are short. Like,
No way.
Yeah, they're not that long. Okay, so that's
Of course,
our topic for today.
Bob and Doug were
So,
characters on a Canadian TV show, Second City.
Yeah.
They even did a spin of the 12 Days of Christmas. I remember they did.
Yes. Yeah, that was
They
good
did
too.
a Christmas edition. Well, they did that spot on the show weekly. Dylan, do you ever remember watching Second City on Global TV?
No, I have not seen that.
Yeah, this is
He's
this
too
ran,
young for that, I think.
Second City ran from I think like 77 to 80, 81, and then it became SCTV, and it got an American syndication as well.
Eric and I often make the mistake, I do a lot, of assuming people were even alive when I was remembering some of the things I'm remembering. That's always a problem.
Well, you know what's even
Well,
worse?
what
is-
you call didn't you know? If you look at Second City and SCTV, a lot of people were on that.
Yeah, it was a
Yes.
training ground for Saturday Night Live.
Well, they had a Chicago connection, and so a lot of the people, even though Belushi was from the Chicago side, but
Well, yeah, there was two Second Cities. Second City
Aykroyd's
was
from the
actually
Canadian.
Chicago,
Yeah.
and then they branched off into Toronto.
Yeah.
John Candy was a big Second City.
John Candy, Harold Ramis, who
The
directed
mother,
Caddyshack.
I don't know what her name is, but the mother on Home Alone was also a Second City alum.
Yeah,
Catherine O'Hara. Yeah,
Okay, that's it, Catherine O'Hara.
That's her.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's
Good,
on Schitt's Creek.
Schitt's Creek.
No, SCHITZ Creek.
Oh.
Yeah, don't your dirty mind. With Eugene Levy, who's another second. So they're both Second City. Yeah.
Eugene Levy's very talented. Yeah.
So there's our Canadian
Splash.
connection. And looking
And
at the
of course, Rick
composition.
Moranis and Dave Thomas.
Yeah.
And speaking of Canadian content, looking at the composition of your team, Dylan, you're mostly Canadian. Is that by? But that's not by quota. That's just by design, right? That fits the business
Yeah.
model?
So
Yeah.
by design, and it's a big reason why we have a lot of the partnerships we do, like Canada Basketball. It's the first league they've partnered with, and they've dubbed us as the first division professional league for Canada. We have to have 70% Canadian players.
Okay, so there is a quota.
Yeah. And then in addition to that, a unique partnership is with the U Sports, so essentially like the Div 1 of Canada, where one player per roster is a U Sports member, and that's the Div 1 of Canada, where they can play with us, they can train with us, and they actually get a tuition credit. So the university gets paid, and essentially is used as tuition.
Wow.
And they're able to play, I believe it's up to 10 games. The credit is, actually I forgot the credit now. It's been kind of weird this season, but say it's $300 per game.
Okay.
So they get up to a $3,000 credit per game, but maximum of 10 games. So we're able to have maybe 2 or 3 U Sports players on our roster, but per game we only have one. But then potentially could cycle them through. So it's a good opportunity for players now to get that professional development, also experience at the professional level.
Okay.
And
without
a unique
being-
partnership with U Sports. So some of the major governing bodies for basketball are all associated with our league. So we're pretty proud of that. And yeah, it's been an exciting year. Like for us this year, especially with Kyle Julius, one of our new GM and head coach. He's brought on some very, very talented players. Like Jens Manigat played at Creighton University, started most of his games there, and Junior Cadogan, Marquette alumni. He played in 2 Sweet 16s, 1 Elite
I
Eight.
like that name. Junior Cadogan?
Oh yeah, some major highlights.
There was another
Junior Cadogan.
famous, oh wait, maybe it wasn't Marquette. There was a basketball player that's named Junior. His name was Junior Bridgman. And I think he was Milwaukee. He was pretty good.
Yeah, I remember the Bucks.
Yeah. Anyway, Junior.
I'm glad you brought up Kyle Julius because he casts a very long shadow in Canadian basketball circles in any event. He and his father, very, very talented, a great. In fact, his background is on your website, which is can you plug your website, Dylan?
Yeah, we're gonna have to go to break.
Well, I wanted to plug it right. Yeah, we'll go to break in a moment. But I want
okay.
Before we go to break, let's
all right, I guess I'll see you guys next week.
Okay.
You bet. Thank you. Yeah, literally, Frank. I'll see if I can get a camera in the meantime. This is fun.
This is great.
All
yeah.
right.
Great seeing you,
All
Frank.
right.
Have a great
Bye.
week.
That was the great Frank Fleming of Sports Encyclopedia.
And Barstool Sports.
SportsEncyclopedia.com, plus a contributor Barstool Sports.
Mm-hmm.
There we go. And he's a clerk at the New Jersey County Courthouse. Not New Jersey, maybe, his county there in New Jersey. The county courthouse.
So did you want to do that plug before we go to the break? Or did you give...
Yeah, so
yes, please.
You can, all the listeners, you can check out whether it be our roster, schedule, coaching information, everything on thebandits.ca, so THEBANDITS.ca. You can find all the information there, even how to watch our Summer Series games, which tip off July 26th.
Okay, yeah, that'll be exciting.
And they're going to be televised on CBC in Canada and then be available streaming worldwide, so we can watch the games.
Okay. Well, I guess there won't be a cutout of you at the games, huh, Eric? We didn't get that far along in the process, but that is one of the things that we're going to want in exchange for you. I'm just kidding.
Yeah, I cut a picture of Chab Dog in the
just
stand.
kidding. No, are you guys going to have any cardboard cutouts in the stands?
No cardboard cutouts and no systems. I think what the NBA is exploring with, I think 2K, where I think fans can be engaged and press some button to increase sound or whatever it is. But no, for us, I would say, one of the special things about this tournament, and I'm not sure how familiar you are with the ELM ending, is something that we've adopted for the Summer Series. So like the ELM ending, which you've probably seen in the NBA All-Star game in 2020, and then you might have seen it in the basketball tournament as well, which is run by Nick Elam. Started that. So how familiar are you guys with the ELM ending rules?
I don't know.
I'm not sure what you're referring to, actually. So that's how familiar we are.
All right. So the ELM ending. So the NBA All-Star game actually did this year, and the ELM ending essentially is once there's a whistle at the within 4 minutes left in the game in the fourth quarter. So say it's at 4 minutes left, the ball goes out of bounds. We got a whistle. The time goes off. And whoever has the higher score, say it's 91-90, the team with 91 will add 9 points to that score, and that becomes the target score. So the score still remains 91-90, but now the target score is 100, and we play to 100 now.
Yeah.
Shot clock still stays on. The rest of the rules stay the same, but there's no time.
Yeah, they did this in the All-Star game. I remember.
Oh, okay. Well, that's interesting. I mean, let's see how that works.
It's going to be
more
interesting.
excitement in the
Yeah,
All-Star
it's definitely
games.
essentially you're with 26 games, you have 26 game-winning shots.
Yes.
So it's going to be a lot. It essentially takes away all that wasted time at the end. People holding the ball, wasting the clock, all those timeouts, etc. And now teams if you're a basketball person, you go back to the days you're playing street ball, 1-on-1 or 5-on-5, up to 5 or up to 11, and now and those how those games are intense for every basket. You're essentially creating that type of experience now at the end of every game.
Yes.
So it's going to be interesting to see how it turns out. The basketball tournament, if you've ever watched it, you'll notice how those games are always entertaining. You might want to tune into some of the games. They just finished last week, but I'm sure you can catch some of the games online still. And then yes, the NBA All-Star game adopted it as well, and who knows what the NBA might do in the future.
Well, it turned what was an otherwise boring game into really exciting there in the last 10 minutes. I thought it was great. So
exactly.
I know what you're referring to. That was spectacular. Wow, I'm for one. Yeah, we're looking forward. We're going to be your biggest fans. We're going to be tuning in and checking it out. Dylan, you're welcome to stay over past the break. We'd love to speak to you some more, especially about your political views on Hong Kong.
Yeah.
Maybe not that, but
that's going to have to be another time, guys.
Of course. Well, so thank you very much for being on. Really appreciate it. And if you, like I said, if you want to stick around for the next hour. You can. We're going to take like a 10-minute break or so.
Yeah,
and then we'll be back with Brian Keller of Sport Rocks site and one of our co-hosts. Okay.
Okay.
Thank you guys for having me.
All right.
Dylan, thank you very much. It was great to have you. And that was Dylan Killar, the vice president of the Fraser Valley Bandits, the Bandits basketball team, part of the Canadian Elite Basketball League, and we were very happy to have him on.
Okay.
But now we're going to our break, so...
The beauty way to go. We're going to go out with a commercial here.
Yep. Defy Life. Back in a few.
We're told that greatness is exceptional, when it should be expected. You choose every day to live your life intentionally, without apology for how bright your light may shine. So go be great. Go be brilliant. Go be you. Go defy life. The Defy Life movement is one that speaks to each of us in its own way. Defy Life Gear speaks to us all by reminding us that one size does not fit all. Visit defylifegear.com to get fit for greatness.
The law office of Brandon S. Chabner, serving clients in Southern California with transactional legal services since 2007. We handle general corporate, outside counsel type work, drafting and negotiating a wide variety of business and commercial contracts, including non-disclosure agreements, independent contractor agreements, and employment agreements. Our experience includes working with public and private companies and involves a broad range of industries, including healthcare, consumer products, real estate, and high technology. Mr. Chabner has over 20 years of legal experience, having worked for some larger national firms and serving as general counsel for a multi-million-dollar private company here in Southern California before starting his own legal practice. His educational credentials include a law degree from UCLA, where he was on law review, undergraduate degree at Yale, where he graduated magna cum laude, and an MBA from Harvard Business School. Other areas of focus for Chabner Law include press release and business plan editing, pre-litigation matters, and debt and mortgage resolution work. You can contact us at 310-698-0740 and at bchabner@chabnerlaw.com.
Like Chabdog said, that he was 100% right.
He can take all comers.
I was going to be busy all day. I had to drop off some guns at Jimmy's to match some silencers he had gotten. I had to pick up my brother at the hospital and drive him back to the house for dinner that night. And then I had to pick up some new Pittsburgh stuff for Lois to fly down to some customers I had near Atlanta. Right away, I knew he didn't want them. I knew I was going to get stuck for the money. I only bought the damn guns because he wanted them, and now he didn't want them.
What the fuck are these things? None of them fit. What's the matter with you? What do you want me to pay for this shit? I'm not paying for it.
I didn't say a thing. Jimmy was so pissed off, he didn't even say goodbye.
Stop with those fucking drugs. They're making your mind into mush. You hear me? Take them back.
Now, I knew my Pittsburgh guys always wanted guns, and since I was going to see them later in the afternoon to pick up a delivery, I was pretty sure I'd get my money back. When I finally got there at the hospital to pick up Michael, his doctor wanted to put me in bed.
Jesus Christ, what happened to you?
Well, nothing. I just almost got into an accident right now driving over here. I told him about the accident, and I said I was partying all night. No, I'm fine, Doc.
Come on, get over here.
Doc, I'm fine.
Let me check you out. Come on.
He took mercy on me. He gave me 10 milligrams of Valium and sent me home. Now, my plan was to drop off my brother at the house and pick up Karen. Stuff I gotta do in here.
Was absolutely. I couldn't believe it destroyed this guy. It was absolutely incredible.
He knocked his nose from one side of his face to the other. The fucking thing was hanging off.
Joey, who are you fighting next? Can you tell me who you're going to fight next?
I don't know. He never
Listen,
told me.
from
He's
all
away
I've
training
seen,
at
they
camp.
got to give that title shot.
Jackie Curtin. Joey, you should know each
Hi,
other.
Joey.
Yeah.
Pleasure. Heard a lot of nice things about you.
And we're gonna get the title shot, too.
I'm sure. Man, I like your brother. Made a lot of money out of it.
Yeah, probably more than he did, that's for sure.
Get some nice cabbage on the Oscar Jackson fight.
So they had a hair on
Pesci. Do I see him anymore?
He's punchy,
Yeah.
he probably died.
It's got to be a wig, man.
That's a Jew fro.
Heck yeah.
He's complaining. That's a beautiful table.
He's working downtown, big building, working elevator.
Yeah, Italians and Jews can kind of interchange in movies.
Took me right up.
Hey, that Oscar's always a stand-up guy, Joe. He did you a lot of
Yeah, he
good.
was
You
tough.
know
Gave your
that.
brother a hell of a fight, too.
Yeah, Mickey.
Everybody could have drank.
Cuddy sock and water, huh?
Excuse me 1 minute, fellas.
You gonna come back, Joe?
Cuddy Sark and water. Billy Bats is.
Oh, Cuddy Sark, yeah. Oh, yeah.
You drink
Yeah.
Cuddy Sark?
Hey, Joey.
I've seen it. I've seen the bottle a lot, and I've never had it though.
Cuddy Sark and J&B.
Shut up, just shut up.
Both
Keep
of
your
you
mouth
say,
shut.
you know that I feel like I'm a prisoner. I can't walk. I look at somebody the wrong way, I get smacked.
You think you're right or
I
something?
like
while
the
you're
actress
fucking
too.
yelling?
I don't know who she
No,
was.
you're wrong.
Look, I am right. I'm tired
No
of having
clue.
to turn around and having both of you up my ass all the time.
She knows a thing or two about getting stuff up there.
Look, I'm tired of listening to
Don't
you.
make me
Brother,
nuts
I'm
in
not
this
wrong.
place.
And what am I supposed to do? When 20 years old, I gotta go home and sleep by myself every night?
What the fuck did you marry me
Because I
for?
love her.
You do?
Yeah, I love him. What am I supposed to do? This guy don't even want to fuck me.
He's just been a contender too long. He'll be all right as soon as he gets his shot, and then everything will be okay. You won't have to fucking run around like a plot zone.
Jake,
He
he's
does.
never gonna be champ. Too many people hate him.
And you're drinking with them.
Yeah, I'm not gonna finish my drink. I'm gonna have time. I'm doing it.
Then what do you get your stuff?
So she was the wife or the love interest for Jake LaMotta, who was incredibly jealous.
Joey, come on, shut up. Shut up. Mind your fucking business and
And
shut
Joe
up.
Pesci was his right-hand man.
Shut up. Good night. What's the matter with you? There's nothing going on here. This is innocent.
It's a leotardo.
A few drinks.
Yeah, Billy Bats.
Come on. You know better than that.
Here comes a sucker punch.
Come on. Good friends all the time. It's my brother's wife.
I actually saw this in Sopranos, this move.
Good friends, we can straighten this.
Remember that from Sopranos? They're outside the construction site scene where two guys are insulting each other, and then one guy makes a nasty comment about the other guy's date or something. Everyone thought it was funny, and the other guy got up and hit him with a bottle in the head. Joe Pesci going nuts. Oh, here we go.
Like a big chunk of iron.
Don't mention Tommy. You do what you do. We do what we got. Don't mention no names.
Poor Frank Vincent got beat up a lot in the movies. But actually,
His head slammed.
I mean, Sopranos was very similar. He's still beating him. He's still beating him with the door.
Like 5 guys to pull off this tiny little Joe Pesci.
Yeah. Oh my God, he's just, you can't stop him. Okay.
And no way
We're
will
back.
ever say that you have to.
We're not going to listen to Spike Lee right now. I don't need that.
All right, we're back. Chad Dog Sports Talk
yeah.
Radio Show Sunday edition.
Hour two. And
Our guest,
we have Brian Keller on.
host,
Is Brian Keller on?
Sports Rock, yes, he is.
Okay.
Yes, I'm here.
All right. We got to get a picture for him, too, so we can see his picture.
Well, I'll ask Brian what I asked Tank. Brian, do you have a Skype account?
Skype account? No, I don't.
Okay. Well, that takes care of that.
Okay.
Well, do you have a computer with a camera on it?
Yes, that I do.
Okay.
If you have a computer with a camera on it and you have a Skype account, then you could do what Tank did, which is when he called in, I had him use Skype for the first time. Because our phone in line actually is through Skype. So if you have a Skype account, you can also send video. And we saw Tank in his lair, and we saw him sticking. He has a variety of chew toys he uses during the show, including his shirt.
He has almost as many as my dog.
Yeah, he was a lot like Bingo.
Yeah,
so we could Skype, and you could also see.
Yeah, we could see him. So we could see his little office setup where he's got all the sports memorabilia on the wall.
Chowder, we put a camera right on top of the big screen over there. Aim it this way.
Yeah.
We could be on. Yeah.
Okay. Well,
we could be on TV.
Let's work on that. I got a camera, so we can see if we can get that.
I mean, I'm familiar with it, and you think I used it 10 years ago?
Oh well, yeah. If it's a big deal, don't worry about it. Just saying,
Brian, and if we could get the video of this out to the world, then they could see what an attractive guy Brian is. I mean, he's just not just a radio voice.
I always picture Brian looks a lot like Clint Eastwood.
You got some facial hair, right? You got a beard, right? Pretty big one.
The beard?
Yeah, you have a big beard, right?
Yeah.
Okay, you're like Clint Eastwood with a beard.
It tends to get a little Santa Clausy, but
so it's out. It's pretty big.
I try to keep it down sometimes.
How big is it right now?
Oh, what would you say? Maybe like it's getting a little shaggy.
It's not like ZZ. You're not like ZZ Top big,
ZZ
right?
Top style?
No.
More like what's the guy's name that lived out in the woods?
Yosemite Sam?
No, the Unabomber. Ted Kaczynski. You look more Ted Kaczynski.
Yeah, more like the Unabomber.
Huh? Oh my! So it's pretty big. Mine's not nearly that. I don't know. It's pretty tempered. It's not. Yeah, I'm trying to think of who it looks like. I don't know. It's just it's kind of your trimmed goatee look. But yeah, we'd love to see you sometime. And that
Dude,
was.
You look like Al Pacino with the goatee.
Who?
You?
Me?
Yeah, like
Oh,
when Pacino wears a goatee.
Oh yeah,
which he's done in a few of his films.
They people think I'm Italian sometimes and Greek, Mediterranean.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah, definitely. I mean, again, that's where the Mediterranean, Jewish ancestry is from the Mediterranean, and so there's a lot of y'all look the same.
Yeah, I'd rather look like Al Pacino than like you remember that guy in Goodfellas, Maury? He had a goatee.
Did he?
Yeah,
no,
the wig guy.
You look better. Oh yeah, no.
That was a goatee.
That's
but
a shaggy goatee.
Yeah,
no,
I'm keeping mine up. You got the thing is if you don't pay attention to it, then you have to put in some time on that. You don't have to shave, but there's still some maintenance that has to get done if you want to keep it trimmed up and stuff. I don't know, but I like it. I was clean shaven for most of my life, and then 3 or 4 years ago, I just said, let's try this, and I like the goatee. I don't like the full beard. But once you get the full,
I've had a mustache since I was about 13.
13.
I only shaved it off maybe once.
He came out of the womb with a mustache. So this is the Weighty on 1980 show, and we did play some stuff last hour was more.
We had a basketball a VP from the Canadian Basketball League on.
That was
we
interesting.
We were doing an interview for,
and we had Tank.
And we're going to watch some of that. I mean, with the way they're playing, I mean, it's not some season. The games, there's not going to be that many games.
No, it's like the NBA thing, pretty much.
Let's do a watch party if you can get some time. Let's do a watch party.
Okay, well,
that sounds like it'd be good.
If you give me some dates and times, we can see what we can do.
But let's test Brian's memory on 1980.
Yeah.
So,
Well,
Brian, what do you think what do you remember as the top grossing films of 1980?
Can you name 3 of the top 10?
Ooh, okay.
3 of the top 10, 1980.
And you can't use your computer.
Yeah, without using a computer.
Not off the top of my head, honestly.
Seriously?
I keep getting stuck around.
Oh, I thought this would be called
okay.
TV, man.
Well, I'll give
I
you.
mean, I seem to know 79, 77, things like that, but the specific year, 1980, I can't really think of anything off the top of my head.
All right. Well, one clue would be one of them was part of the Star Wars group of films.
Oh, that would have been the second one, I assume, man.
Yeah.
Episode, let's see, 4, 5, 6. Episode 6, maybe. I don't know. Anyway.
Empire Strikes Back.
Yeah, Luke, I Am Your Father.
Empire Strikes Back. That was a pretty big one.
Empire Strikes Back. Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
Number 2 was Airplane.
Airplane.
Yeah.
Oh, Airplane?
Yeah, I didn't know it was that popular.
I mean, they made that film for like $5, so this is incredible.
It was so corny.
They got $183 million out of it.
It's just such corny humor.
That was over the top, crazy.
I mean, it must have made
ridiculous humor, but it worked.
They're laughing all the way to the bank on that one. And
I remember one friend of mine, he just cracked him up every time. And at first, some people, it probably went right over their head. Every time they showed the plane, you could hear propellers.
Yeah.
Sometimes some of the jokes are very
sound.
funny. Some of the jokes are very funny. It's just at some point it gets to be too much, and every other comment is a double entendre, or that kind of humor.
Oh, Abdul-Jabbar on it.
Yeah, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar was on.
Listen,
Why?
kid, you tell your dad to drag Bill Walton up and down that court. For
Oh,
6
sorry.
years.
Right. Yeah. Oh, well, Ice Cube. I know both those guys. Yeah, I know Ice Cube. Was it over what? There's some of this violence and going on in the cities. What was it about?
It was over anti-Semitism.
Why? What happened?
Okay, so Ice Cube mouthed off in support of that Cannon guy that we were talking about in the first hour.
Oh, who made that ridiculous comment about Jews and
who was interviewing Professor Griff?
White Jews versus black Jews.
Who got kicked out of Public Enemy in 1989 for that specific point of being anti-Semitic. Even Public Enemy couldn't stand it.
Mm-hmm.
So he did a piece support, giving voice to that, in so being support at the very least. So then Ice Cube, mouths off something about Then Kareem comes in and says, "Hey, there's no place for this, and that this doesn't represent blackness or Black America or our point of view, and where we want to be, and where we want to go." And then Ice Cube lit off on that. I can't give you Ice Cube's reply, but then he took off after our man Kareem. So there's, in fact, he get this. I do remember what Ice Cube said. He accused Kareem Abdul-Jabbar of selling out for, get this, 30 pieces of silver.
No.
Do you get the reference, Chab Dog? You got it, Brian.
Selling out for 30 pieces of silver?
You know what? Hey, Brian.
Is
Chab
that
Dog
because of Adam Silver?
No.
The guy
Chab Dog wouldn't get this because you're not Christian.
Yeah.
In the and you don't know what the last you heard of the Last Supper, but in the Last Supper at the end when they're
something to do with Jews and Jesus.
Well, they were deciding who's going to pay the bill, and Judas skipped out. No, sorry. Judas he sold out, I guess, to the devil or somebody there. I can't remember. I'm being a bad Christian now, but he sold Jesus to the Romans or something for 30 pieces of silver.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. The Judas thing, yeah.
Judas, yeah. So here we are with Ice Cube, picking the number 30 for
calling
Kareem
Abdul-Jabbar Judas.
No, well, yeah, the 30 pieces of silver reference.
Yeah, well, good for Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, I think.
Well, for standing up for what's right, and bad for Ice Cube, and bad for this disease of a thought in the black community that somehow they're opposed, somehow the Jews aren't the Jews, and they're the Jews, and that there's some should be opposition.
But between
the two in any event,
you have people with crazy or views that are objectionable everywhere, and so I mean it's. I don't think this is a black thing. I just think it's stupidity.
But Chabdog,
what?
The blacks are the true children of Israel. They are the Hebrews.
I know, but whoever's saying that is saying it, but it's not.
Are you 100%
It's not
sure?
attributable to the black community.
Oh, it better not. Well,
I'm
right
sure,
now it is, but well, yeah, the whites don't say it. It's the blacks who say that they are the true children of Israel. It ain't a white person saying it. It ain't an Asian person saying it. It's certainly not a Jewish person saying it.
Yeah, but I don't.
This is them.
Okay, it's a black person saying it. That's all that I can say about it.
It's many black people saying it. In fact, do you remember there was a few months back, but in this year, a deli in New York got attacked, and some fine Jewish people, older Jewish people, were killed for doing nothing more than shopping in the deli. And hacked to death and shot to death by this black couple. Remember that story?
No.
We talked about it on the show.
Yeah, I think I remember that.
Yeah, and the black couple, that's when we first talked about this Hebrew Israelite black thing. Because at that moment it was like, what? I don't think you didn't even know there was such a thing until then. If I'm not,
yeah,
that was the first time you learned. So we only learned about this a few months ago. And now,
I want the black Jews and the white Jews to all coexist as one happy family.
There we go. Yeah.
That's
how it should be. Sammy Davis Jr. sits. We need more Sammy Davis.
Yeah. So there were some good movies in 1980.
So Airplane took number 2. Stair Crazy.
The two big ones that I thought would be on that list were one was barely on the list. Blues Brothers was the number 10 movie.
Yeah.
And then Caddyshack isn't even listed.
Yep.
Yeah, Caddyshack popped right up when I looked at
Yeah, but it's not even on there.
Or Cheech and Chong's next movie.
Oh, Cheech and Chong's next movie. Do you want to hear?
Yeah.
You want to hear a clip from that movie?
It's such an integral part of the show. It has been over the years.
We always. What do you want to play?
Every year, we only have one clip, but every year we play it, and we haven't played it yet this year, by the way. So this is a good time for it.
Yeah, this is a little racial profiling.
I was just going to say this ain't racist, but I'd be lying.
Cheech is saying it, so it can't be racist.
Well, exactly. I mean,
yeah,
we'll get to that. Let's talk about that after the
Mexican Americans don't like to just get into gang fights. They like flowers and music.
Maybe
and
he
white
looks like
girls
Chong.
named Debbie too.
Brian, do you look like Chong?
Mexican Americans are named Chata and Chela and Chema and have a son-in-law named Jeff. Mexican Americans don't like to get up early in the morning, but they have to, so they do it real slow.
That's so true. Look at
Mexican
that Cheech's
love
mustache. It's amazing.
education, so they go to night school and they take Spanish and get a B. Mexican Americans love their nanas and their nonos and their ninas and their ninos. Nanu, nanu, nina, no, no. Mexican Americans don't like to go to the movies where the dude has to wear contact lenses to make his blue eyes brown. Cause don't it make my brown eyes blue?
Beautiful.
And that's all I got. How do you like it?
Oh, that's good.
Pretty good. Huh? It's like a protest tune, man.
Yeah, I dig that, man. Yeah. But you know, while you were singing that, I wrote another tune. You know?
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Beaters.
It's like the same thing, only different. You want to hear it?
Yeah.
It's like a little more rock and roll than
all right,
that.
We'll get down.
Something like this here.
Play it, Brian. I love the payphone in that.
Yeah, that's heavy, man.
It's kind of like,
yeah,
you know,
the house. The exterior shots were.
I like to see that.
Hello, Mexican Americans. Like to answer telephones and say hello.
That's a great idea. Okay, I'll show you a clip. And we're back. And that was
Wait, it's not over though. It's not over?
That's it, man.
No. 159.
Well,
You're
there's
not
more, but that's it for the scene. I mean,
Oh,
you're
well,
talking on the phone and stuff.
You don't want to hear him talking on the phone?
Sure, we want to hear him talking on the phone.
To whoever's on the other end. What's that tonto?
Beaners gonna eat beans.
Goya beans.
Oh, Donna. Hey, baby.
Oh, Donna.
Hey, I was just thinking about you.
Donna was
Oh,
hot.
hey, wait a minute. The blood's rushing from my head. I'm gonna pass out. Hey, what you doing?
Beaners will kick you in the face.
Redskin style.
Hey, you wanna go out tonight?
It's a girlfriend.
You do? Ooh. I don't care anywhere. How about over here? Oh, yeah? Yeah? Oh. Well, yeah. Come by anytime. I'll
Look
just
at the
be
sign.
here.
It says getting
I'll
loaded
be waiting with
zone.
balls on. Feels so too
6
much.
p.m. to 9 a.m.
Okay, I'll see you in a while. Hey, man. Hey, you gotta get out of here, man. Put down the phone. Put down your guitar. Come on. Donna's coming over, man. Who? Donna, get out of here. Come on. Donna.
Get
You know,
out
from
of
the
here.
welfare office, Donna, with the big cha-cha bingos, man.
What's that what?
Well, she's coming over, man. I gotta clean up this place, so can you leave?
I got nowhere to go.
Well, go see a movie or something, man. There's no a biker movie or Gaga Gets Gooey or something. Stop playing down at the drive-in or something.
I don't have any
She's hot.
bread.
Well, I'll give you $1, man.
Oh, I love you.
I don't want bread either. Hey, man, just go take a walk or something.
His phone again.
Oh, shit, she can't wait. Ooh, so too much.
There you go.
Done.
Okay. Now we're back.
Yeah.
Well, if we're going to play that, then we've got to play my Canadian song.
Oh.
The moan. Brian will like this. Because Brian...
Cover your ears.
Yeah, this is only a minute
at
57.
At the end, it gets a little bit...
Oh, don't worry. I'll walk you through it.
Okay.
You like good, strong guitar?
This is Proud to be Canadian by Dayglow Abortions.
The Dayglow Abortion.
This is my favorite part of the song.
It's actually a good solo.
It's a nice guitar riff.
Yeah, actually, that could be a bumper, you know. It runs for a minute.
Yeah.
It's also really having something too, if you want to bring some. Rip that off. All right.
Proud to be a Canadian. Pass me another beer.
Sounds like the Cheech and Chong punk rock.
On my seat while I take a
Punk rock competition.
My prime minister drinks our mystery flow. His ex-wife, the burns us on the cheddar. The only reason we live in fucking England. Our government make no living, living shit on. I'm proud to be a Canadian. Pass me another woman drink. I'm proud to be a Canadian. On my seat while I go out and cash it.
Surprised there's no reference to Tim Hortons in this.
That's another song.
Proud to be a Canadian. Pass me another
Eskimo.
I'm proud to be a Canadian. On my seat while I fuck her up the asshole.
Lovely. Okay.
So I saw that band play live once in Vancouver.
Hmm.
In an establishment called the Arts Club on Seymour, which was normally used as a theater. By the way, the Arts Club, they had two locations. They had one on Granville Island, they had one on Seymour, and this was Seymour. It was a converted church. And so they were on the stage.
Who was that?
This is the Dayglow Abortions. And this is this is like 1980, I think around 88 or so, maybe 89. And the crowd they brought in there, the punk rock crowd they brought in there, were slam dancing, and they got so riled up that they went into the bathroom and they tore the porcelain toilets out of the floor. Every one of them. I mean, you know how riled up you got to be to rip a toilet. That takes a lot of energy.
That's really riled up.
Maybe that compares to the punk. Yeah, that's the energy that Portland feels today. I saw with my own eyes in sleepy little Vancouver in 1988. But the reason I
that's
reference
about late 70s to into the 80s. That punk scene.
Yeah.
I got a new group called Punk Rocks, by the way.
Oh, do you?
Oh, okay. Well, Eric, you're going to love that site.
Yeah, Punk Rocks. Cool.
Yeah.
The reason I made reference to that song was another team got canceled this week, and this week it was the Edmonton Eskimos' turn to be removed from memory.
All right, the Eskimos. That's right. I heard that.
You ever heard of them? Yeah.
Why don't they just change it to the Eskimo Pies?
But Eskimo Pies got to change their name too. They got canceled weeks ago.
What's wrong with Eskimo?
Well, you know who doesn't care? Eskimos, because Eskimos don't call themselves that. They call themselves Inuit. So they're like in Canada. They talk to the Eskimos and they said, well, "Yeah, we don't care. That word doesn't refer to us. We're Inuit," is what they said.
They meant they're into it. Yeah.
Inuit.
They were okay with it because they said we're into it.
Inuit. Well, something like that.
I'm just trying to solve the problem.
Yeah. Oh, speaking of which, maybe since we're leaning that way anyway.
What?
Well, I'd like to read my exchange I had on Twitter after the federal. Brian, you've been following the news there in Portland with the federal or federal officers protecting federal properties.
Oh yeah.
All right. Well, why don't you read it to us? Yes.
Okay. And so one of the counselors after Friday night called out the mayor, and the counselor was saying she's had enough. If you can't control the police, give me the Portland Police Bureau. And she had a full statement below that went into details there about how the police are working with the federal authorities and assisting them in terms of shutting down the rioters. But in the meantime, the people out there in the street, they're saying, or the media are trying to lead us to believe that no, this is peaceful protest. So I wrote in response, wanton destruction of public property is not peaceful protest. It never was, and it never will be. Any suggestion otherwise is purely delusional and feeds further destruction. And now, with that, I got a response from somebody in Portland, and they told me there's a difference between peaceful and nonviolent. These protests are not peaceful because they shouldn't be and won't be until there's justice. These are nonviolent, non-peaceful protests because people are more important than property, and no justice, no peace.
Well, it doesn't really make sense, but I don't think...
take it for its literal words. It makes a lot of sense. I mean, this person is actually... I applaud them for being honest and showing their position. They're saying that, no,
it's nonviolent
because
it's damage is happening to only to property, not people.
It's violent because there isn't and will be until there is justice. And because there's no justice, that somehow, that does, in this logic here... that justifies the violence. Yeah, there's a difference between being peaceful and nonviolent. I mean, it starts off with it's a real logical puzzle there, but it's clear to see. It's faulty. But at least that's unfortunately, there's a lot of people holding faulty beliefs. Our fellow citizens, a chunk of our fellow citizens.
You're never going to be able to convince that person to stop doing what they're doing.
Well, and they have a right to feel exactly.
That's
and
why
so we bring
there
in
have to be
federal officials
consequences.
With,
there have to be consequences for those people, or it won't
ARs.
stop.
Yeah. It's simple as that.
Because he's going to want to keep doing it.
Did you see that in the news this week, Brian?
What's that?
Did you see that in the news this week? That Portland thing with the federal.
Oh yeah.
They have every right to, and the mayor is. I heard the mayor being interviewed this morning. Very upset that the federal officials are in there enforcing the law. In fact, he blamed last night's rioting on the federal response. He said, "Oh yeah, no, we were rioting here. There was stuff going on for 5 weeks, and we thought it was pretty much just wrapping up. It was pretty much going down. It was disappearing. I'm telling you, that's what he said on the radio this morning.
Yeah,
It's disappearing. And then Trump sent in these federal police here, and it got everything riled up again.
I guess it depends on who you believe.
But that's the mayor of the city. Outright. I mean, that's not only is it a falsehood, it's an outright lie, Mr. Mayor.
I've heard mayors say a lot of crazy things. The mayor from Chicago said some crazy things. I can't remember.
Oh, what is her name? Proudfoot? What's her name, Brian? Lori Lightfoot?
Who?
The mayor of Chicago?
Yeah.
Chicago. Not off the top of my head.
Lightfoot.
It's this like native name for a very black woman.
I don't know. And then
kind of a crazy, wild-looking one.
Well, she's like De Blasio. And I guess you know what the president must take some responsibility in this, because they are mirroring what the president does, which is sometimes he exaggerates, and I don't know, outright lie. He certainly exaggerates a lot of times.
Yeah, but
so they're using the same defense as the president, saying, "Well, okay, I can exaggerate and get away with it," because they were both clearly exaggerating this week things such as the death count in their own cities and what should be priorities in their cities and actions that they should use their limited resources to address. And, De Blasio was, we have to defend this Black Lives painting on the street in front of Trump's building is way more important than dealing with the murder rate, which Frank, who lives there, says is now up 280% year over year. Same with the lady in Chicago. This is a bad set of priorities, people.
I found it interesting, the Portland mayor, his choice of words. He said that, let's see, if you could trace it back from Donald, a few weeks or months now, I guess, but these protests were starting to get crazy. He said something about the radical left want to destroy or take away your democracy. So that Portland mayor spun it to where, his sending over these federal troops into the city is trying to destroy democracy.
Yes. That's an excellent observation. Yeah, and that is what that's part of the Marxist playbook, where you take the message that's already being received. This is what the Queen was telling us in that Chumbawamba anarchy thing we listened to a couple of weeks ago. You take something that is common knowledge and generally accepted, and then you add to it another idea that's not accepted or isn't in wide point of view at all, and you get acceptance for that idea.
It's called putting a rider on a bill.
Sure. Yeah, that's in a mechanical sense that describes it very well.
Legitimizing something by attaching it to something else.
Well, by attaching it to something that's valid, that it is at least considered valid anyway.
And you do create confusion and change things by doing things like that sometimes.
Well, because it's an inconsistency, and we as people, at least a majority of us anyway, regardless of what race you are, understand what logical consistency is. And prefer to live a life of it, because otherwise.
I wanted to end the show on a more uplifting note. So can we transition to something like
no more philosophy?
How about the Miracle on Ice? That was pretty cool. We didn't play that. We have that clip.
That's huge.
Yeah, I know Brian. Brian liked that.
Yeah, I said it was probably the most significant sports event or occurrence.
Yeah.
In my lifetime, probably. It's huge.
Yeah, these are college players against a pro team.
Out in front, backhander goes wide. I think Craig might have got just a piece of it. Mikhailov back out to Ilya Letinov.
Who is CCP?
43 seconds remaining.
We called it USSR, but in their language.
37 seconds left in the game. Petrov with it. The Americans.
Right.
Long shot. Craig able to
the boycott was in the Summer Olympics. There was.
It was in the 84. Well, but those Olympics were
in LA. Yeah, that was.
This is
that's the way. This was the Soviet Union.
Lake Placid.
The puck is still loose. 11 seconds. You've got 10 seconds. The countdown going on right now.
This is incredible.
Up to Schultz. 5 seconds left in the game. Do you believe in miracles? Yes!
I remember how bad it was 8 years before when we lost to the Soviet Union in basketball.
We've been losing in a lot of sporting events because we.
But the basketball was terrible.
Well, it was an amateur team, so.
Like we should never have lost to them. It just we
got the Harlem Globetrotters.
We got kind of screwed by the officials with the time. I think it was
probably sent a bunch of white boys.
Something with the clock. This made it all better. Yeah.
Sutter, Ramsey. Oh, yeah, I recognize a couple of those names.
Mike Eruzione. I forgot all the other names.
That was the Russian game, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, they still had to.
Yeah, because I can remember a sports guy going, I hate to bring you back to reality, folks, but they haven't won the gold yet. But you know, at that point, it didn't even matter. Really?
Right.
It was obviously it capped the whole thing, but just beating the Russians like that was really all we needed, all we wanted.
Yeah, it's funny how that they still had to play. I believe it was Czechoslovakia for the gold medal, or Sweden, one of the two.
Yeah,
and beat them, which they did. But that game isn't remembered as anything like this one.
Well, it was kind of like the Red Sox when the Red Sox beat the Yankees in 2004.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Once we did that, we knew we were going to win the World Series.
Yeah.
That's why I kind of felt that way when my Angels did the same, the Yankees in 2002 on the way to their World Series.
Oh, right, because that was
right
that was the year they beat the Giants, right?
Yeah.
That was 2002. Yeah, that was a 7-game series, I think, wasn't it?
Oh yeah. And I remember like Game 6 was tight. Barry Bonds hit a monster. I remember it said Tim Salmon. You could see him on the sidelines going, "Holy shit!"
I was in at Angel Stadium for the Game 7, by the way. Yeah.
Oh, cool.
Went there with some friends and in terms of 1980, we also had the Phillies beating the Royals. Do you remember that World Series?
Royals. Oh yeah, the Phillies. Yeah.
Tug McGraw gets who did he get the last out against? Who did he get a strikeout? The guy is not in the Hall of Fame, but he stole a hell of a lot of bases.
Larry Wilson?
Yeah, Willie Wilson.
Good call.
Yeah. Poor Royals, because they finally got over their hump by getting to the World Series. I think did they beat the Yankees to get into the World Series? I'm not sure. But they had to wait another 5 years. There's Dallas Green celebrating. And we were talking about Pete. Did Pete Rose, was that his first year with Philadelphia?
Oh, 79 or 80?
80.
It's been 80, yeah. Yeah, he played the decade with the Reds, so it had to be.
Yeah. Yeah, the Phillies got Joe Morgan, too, I think. Maybe that was later. At some point, yeah, I think we talked about this last week or the week before that they were in the '83 series against the Orioles, and they had a bunch of these older guys like veteran accomplished players, and they're called the Wheeze Kids.
Yeah, the Wheeze Kids. That's right.
Yeah. 1980 was the Steelers over the Cowboys? No, Rams. Steelers over the Rams.
Rams.
Yeah, I know she picked consecutive weeks of Steeler victories.
I know. I got to stop doing it.
And consecutive years with a leap year, because 1980 was also a leap year.
I guess that's what I like. I like
You like Steeler victories, huh?
Steeler victories and leap years.
Was that Vince Ferragamo, the quarterback, I believe?
Yeah.
Well, Ferragamo in the Super Bowl. Wow. Yeah, he played in the CFL.
That Super Bowl was at the Rose Bowl, by the way. Yeah.
Yeah, so they were technically home. It's not their official home stadium, but they're home.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. That might.
I remember because a good friend of mine and his family were like split. There's like Steeler fans and there's Rams fans.
Mm-hmm.
We had quite a party that day.
I don't have any clips from that. We do have the Islanders clip where they're beating the Flyers. That was their first championship.
Gets it back at his own blue line, right side of Pearson. Up ice to Henning. He deflected it into the zone. Islanders racing after the puck. Nystrom interfered with, but no penalty called. Nystrom collides with Daly behind the Flyer net. Puck is loose there, cleared over the boards, but not, and comes out to center ice. Pearson stops it there for Henning. Henning comes back to his own blue line and shoots it up ice for Tonelli. Tonelli comes in over the blue line on the off wing. Comes in front, the shot to Nystrom.
Oh, great pass.
No helmets. He's wearing a helmet.
Well, I don't know. Did they just lose their helmets?
They're required to wear them that time.
Okay, so yeah, I remember watching sometimes when they're noticing that some of the players had them, some didn't.
Right at the end of that era.
Yeah.
What a finish! What a finish to a hockey season!
Nice. Good to see that for the Islanders.
7 years, 352 days, 17 hours, and 33 minutes. But they have finally won the Stanley Cup.
They're so happy.
Overtime goal scored by Bobby Nystrom.
She's wetting her pants.
At 7-11, the Islanders on the ice hugging each other with Al Arbor out there hugging every one of his players.
Al Arbor.
The Islanders have won the Stanley Cup.
Yes.
Touching.
There was a couple of things on that. Well, there was just a note on that Philly series. They were the last of the original 16 Major League Baseball teams to finally win a World Series.
They were part of the original, like starting from
the original
when?
16, yeah, original National League, basically.
National
the
and
original
American.
National American League teams that were established back in 1901. Yeah.
Yeah, because they didn't even play in a World Series until then, right?
I don't.
No, they
believe
did.
so.
They did. They
I
did.
don't
They
remember.
did. They played in 1950. They played.
1950.
Yeah,
okay.
the Whiz Kids.
I thought there might have been one. Yeah.
Yeah, that was the one where they played the Yankees and they got beat up badly by the Yankees. But they had Robin Roberts in that. I think he was their pitcher.
Oh, right. Okay, yeah. Robin Roberts. Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, we're digressing, and this is the stuff that we like to talk about late at night.
Yeah.
It's Lazy River Radio.
Yeah.
But we're in summer. This is the best time of the year in most locations of the country in terms of sunlight, weather.
The interesting is, I think both of us like baseball a lot more than any other type of sports trivia. Like, it's very hard for me to get into to basketball or football trivia. Mm-hmm. I don't know why exactly. It's just baseball. It's just.
You know a lot of basketball stuff, though.
I do. We do know a lot of basketball, but I don't spend a lot of time. I don't spend a lot of time studying.
Yeah, basketball and football. I agree totally. There's just something magic about baseball and the numbers.
Mm-hmm. Maybe
we're math geeks. I don't know.
It's kind of easy to compare players and numbers, and you have very kind of clear standards to use.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So, what else? Did we talk about politics? I guess we did.
Just a little.
Yeah, just a little. We have. Oh,
Reagan.
I saw a Willie Nelson interview on the TV yesterday. It was great.
Love Willie Nelson.
And he was he was talking about how they were asking him a lot of questions about why he likes to smoke pot, and he was pretty honest about it, and
he's always been.
He's a very, very good interview. And he's a charming guy, and he answers questions directly. He said something about the government should be embarrassed that they let his debt to the government get up to like $30 million. He just
That's a funny way to put it.
openly busting them for that.
Oh, the Lakers beat the Phillies.
Yeah, the Lakers beat the Sixers in a great series. That was like the year that was basically Magic's coming out party, right?
1980, yeah.
Because I remember that because they were shorthanded. The Lakers were shorthanded at the end of that series, and he took over and he started posting people up, and he was bringing the ball up. He was just doing everything, And the Sixers really had a better team, I thought, and they lost. And that wasn't until '83 that they ever got back to that that level. And but that was a big upset. The Lakers won that. Yeah.
Another one for the doctor.
Any other clips we have that we want to play before we call it quits here?
Yeah, that was you're right. That's the game. Johnson scored 42 points and 15 rebounds, filling in for Kareem, basically.
That was the game 6. It was a 6-gamer, right?
Yeah, it was a 6-gamer. Yeah, 6-gamer.
Yeah, so that was probably that. I'm guessing that final. I don't know. I'm guessing that they were playing in Philadelphia. Well, no, maybe they were in. Maybe they. I don't know who was the home team in that one. I kind of guess Philadelphia was. They had a great team. They were the favorites.
With a clip from the Urban Cowboy movie, 1980.
Yeah, we have. Do you remember Urban Cowboy?
You ever hear that film?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Urban Cowboy.
Yeah. You want to hear that?
What's the accent? You got to hear this accent.
Hey, bud. How you feeling?
Oh, real good.
Good?
This is how they talk.
Gillies on the way over here?
No. I wanted to, but Pam didn't wake me up on time. I was so goddamn mad, I'll tell you.
Pam?
I don't know. I guess she just don't want me being where Sissy is or something.
Oh, yeah.
I saw Sissy today.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
What'd she say?
Looks like
Well,
the
not
lights
very
of the city,
much.
doesn't
She
it?
gave me the finger, I gave her the finger. Well, I guess it's over. I don't
Just
know.
a refinery.
You know, Bud, sometimes a cowboy's got to swallow his pride and hold on to somebody he loves.
What do you mean?
Hell, I know. I pretty near lost Corrine and the kids a couple of times just cause of pride. You know, you think that old pride's going to choke you going down, but I tell you what, there ain't a night goes by and I don't thank the boss up there for giving me a big enough throat.
Thank you, Barry.
That Corrine and them kids, hell, I'd just be another old pile of dog shit in the cantaloupe patch, just drawing flies.
I guess so.
Think about it, Bud.
Not for Doreen and the
Pride's
kids.
one of them 7 deadlies, you know what I mean?
Know what I mean? What is that? He's putting in his mouth.
Thanks, partner. You boys going up there and help
Is
Bud.
it chaw? Is it like chewing tobacco?
Come to help me?
It looked like kale or something.
Well, that's good, 'cause I thought I was going to do this all alone. Help me, come on.
All right.
That's the scene.
That was a good scene.
That was a good
I lived in Houston for a while, so I'm kind of partial to that movie.
Were you an urban cowboy? Did you have a cowboy
Shining
hat?
was
Chab?
out.
Did the Chab Dog
Shining
wear a
was out
cowboy
that
hat?
year.
No. What's that, Brian?
See, The Shining was out that year.
Yes.
Oh, I don't have any Here's Johnny clips. Sorry.
I didn't think that was such a great movie.
I didn't
I don't
either.
understand
I didn't. It's not my favorite Jack Nicholson movie by any stretch.
Not my favorite Stanley
You know,
Kubrick
any
movie at all
movie,
either.
any movie where I have to look at Shelley Duvall is not my favorite movie.
Yeah.
She
It's
kind of.
just got some classic scenes, I think, is what really made it.
Yeah, there's some good ones.
The weird little twins and
Mm-hmm.
the red rum thing.
Yeah.
Here's Johnny.
Red rum.
Red rum. Raging Bull.
Raging Bull. We played some Raging Bull clips at the beginning, and so you heard that, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that was over the break. We did the Raging Bull over the break.
Mm.
Yeah, Joe Pesci. Yeah, a foreshadowing of what was to come. Well, it was Martin Scorsese, Raging Bull.
Yeah, it's just there's a lot of scenes in there that we could tell were
Casino, Martin
things
Scorsese?
that were used in later movies.
And yeah,
Casino, Sopranos.
Yep.
Wise,
same actors. Yeah, you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, the other one with I always forget.
Well, I was mixed up with Casino.
Yeah, but what's the other one about
Casino.
the guys in New Jersey? You know, it's the one with De Niro and Joe Pesci and Ray Liotta.
Copland?
No. It's the one we played for the May 11th, 1980. That remember that clip?
Well, that was
it's not Wise Guys. What's the name of the movie?
Goodfellas.
Goodfellas. Yeah.
Yeah, Goodfellas.
I always drove.
Goodfellas. Yeah, Goodfellas.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
A lot of stuff from that. So
He also did Casino too. Right?
Yes.
Yeah.
And I was forever mixing up the two movies, Goodfellas and Casino.
I know.
So, Brian,
you got it figured out.
You looking forward to baseball starting in a week?
Is it a week?
I think it's a week.
I lose track.
I know.
Until it
happens, it hasn't happened.
It'll be great.
Yeah. Yeah, even with cardboard fans. Do you know the Mets are going to have Frank Fleming there in the looking on? There's going to be a cardboard of him.
He's already there. I'll show you his picture.
Okay, so he's already there.
He's already there.
Yeah, so it's your job to sneak in there and spray paint some BLM graffiti on there.
Can you imagine?
Oh my God!
I'm gonna have to grab a sports channel here pretty soon. I usually get it during the football season, but
yeah.
Do you get anything off the air? Any off the air signals there, Brian?
I can't get over the air. We're like just too far from the city, from the metropolis.
Yeah.
And I mean, even those fancy schmancy HD antennas they talk about don't work worth the crap out here. But
yep.
So I got internet basically, streaming TV, as opposed to cable, because it's actually a little cheaper.
Well, you know what's going to work
to
even
watch
better.
A lot of the free streaming stuff.
You know
but
what's
I have
gonna
to
be-
get it something for sports. I'll have to get some kind of a package.
You know what's going to be perfect for you? Is Starlink.
What's that?
Starlink. It's probably going to be available in about 6 months. And Starlink is that satellite service from Elon Musk.
Oh yeah, satellite.
But it's those ones that there's SpaceX is shooting up those rockets, and there's like 60 in each rocket. There's 60 satellites.
We got to end the show. I'm sorry.
Just gonna get the good stuff here.
Because I'm going to turn into a pumpkin right now.
Okay.
And so I'm sorry we didn't get to go through the Hong Kong situation. I know it's awful, but
yeah, just
you can post something on my site.
The
already.
rights of habeas corpus were lost. That's all.
Oh.
Nothing really big happened this week, but well, at least we got a chance to mention that.
Yeah, so we're gonna go finish up with a Billy Joel song from his Glass Houses album,
Glass Houses,
1980, and
1980.
this is a great song. Not one of his most played songs, but a lot of, if you're a Billy Joel fan, you'll know this. Do you remember
he's
this?
great. He's good.
What kills me is 1980. That's 40 years ago now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
You remember this? All right, Brian, thank you very much for calling in. Brian Keller from Sport Rocks. And check that Facebook site out, among others he administrates. And thank you, Frank Fleming, Sports Encyclopedia. Eric, of course, your amazing technical skills help us through this show. Thank you for co-hosting. And we'll be on next week.
Great thanks to our guest, Dylan Couloir, Vice President of the Fraser Valley Bandits basketball team of the Canadian Elite Basketball League.
And thanks for listening. This has been Chad
Thank
Dog
you.
Sports Talk. And we'll see you next Sunday. Bye-bye.
Have a great weekend,
Thank you,
everybody.
gentlemen. Bye-bye.
Thanks.
You say you're looking for someone solid here. You can't be bothered with those just for the night boys. Tonight unless you take some kind of chances, dear. Tomorrow morning you'll wake up with the white noise. All night long, all night long. You're only standing there 'cause somebody once did somebody wrong. But you'll be sleeping with the television on. Your eyes are saying talk to me, but your attitude is don't waste my time. But you won't hear a word 'cause it just might be the same old line. This isn't easy for me to say, Diane. I know you don't need anybody's protection. I really wish I was less of a thinking man and more a fool who's not afraid of rejection. All night long, I'll just be standing here 'cause I know I don't have the guts to come on. And I'll be sleeping with the television on. Your eyes are saying talk to me, but my attitude is boy, don't waste your time. But I won't say a word 'cause it just might be somebody else's same old line. All night long, we'll just be standing here 'cause somebody might do somebody wrong. I will be sleeping with the television on. Sleeping with the television, sleeping with the television on. Oh, sleeping with the television on.
440.4 pounds. It's ready.